The day the stars went dark, the obsidian halls of the Galactic Federation Council chamber buzzed with tension as representatives from 47 species gathered in emergency session. Crystalline beings from Zarian floated in their containment pods while the hulking turbaned delegates stomped their massive feet in agitation. At the center of the circular chamber, Ambassador Crystal of the Zentari Union raised his forearms for silence. Fellow beings of the galaxy, his voice echoed. Through the universal translators, we face an unprecedented threat. The species from the third planet of the Sol system has expanded beyond acceptable parameters. A holographic display materialized above the chamber, showing Earth's recent colonization efforts. Red markers indicated human settlements on Mars, Europa, and 3 asteroid mining stations. The sight drew hisses and clicks of disapproval from the assembled aliens. In merely 50 years, they have spread like a plague through their system, continued Crickstyle. Their aggressive mining operations, their refusal to follow established galactic protocols, and their alarming military buildup cannot be ignored. Commander Zephin of the Hegemony Defense Force stepped forward. His scaled hide gleamed under the chamber's artificial lights. The humans have ignored 17 formal warnings. They construct weapons under the guise of exploration vessels. They show no respect for established territorial boundaries. The Zarian representatives' crystalline form pulsed with indignant light. They contaminate pristine worlds with their industrial methods. They show no regard for the delicate balance we have maintained for millennia. President Alina Vasquez of Earth sat in the human delegation section, her jaw clenched as she listened to the accusations. She had come to this emergency session hoping for dialogue, but the hostile atmosphere made it clear that the decision had already been made. Crystal's voice rose above the murmur of agreement. Therefore, by unanimous vote of the Galactic Federation Council, we hereby impose a complete containment protocol on the Sol system. No human vessel shall pass beyond the heliopause. All trade agreements are terminated. All diplomatic relations are suspended. The chamber erupted in approval. Tentacled beings slapped their appendages together, while insectoid delegates buzzed their wings in agreement. Alina stood to speak, but Crystal's gesture silenced her attempt. The decision is final. Earth will remain isolated until such time as humanity demonstrates the wisdom and restraint required for galactic citizenship. We estimate this period to be no less than 500 Earth years. As the session concluded, Alina watched the alien delegates file out, their satisfaction evident. Her aide, Colonel Marcus Reed, leaned close. Madam President, the blockade fleet is already moving into position. Within hours, the reality of Earth's isolation became apparent. Massive alien vessels positioned themselves at the edge of the solar system, their energy shields creating an impenetrable barrier. Any human ship attempting to leave was turned back or destroyed. The few human vessels already beyond the blockade were stranded, cut off from home. On Earth, panic spread like wildfire. Stock markets crashed as interstellar trade ground to a halt. The lunar colonies found themselves trapped, their supplies dwindling. Mars Base Alpha went dark after failing. To receive critical medical supplies, Alina stood before a joint session of the United Earth Assembly, her face grave. Citizens of Earth, we face our darkest hour. The galaxy has turned its back on us, but we are not defeated. Humanity has survived ice ages, world wars, and the threat of extinction. We will survive this. In the Canadian Arctic, buried beneath 2 kilometers of ice and rock, something stirred. Dr. Marcus Chen stood before a massive blast door that hadn't been opened in 30 years. His breath formed clouds in the frigid underground facility as he placed his hand on the biometric scanner. Project Zeus authorization confirmed, announced the synthetic voice. "Welcome back, Dr. Chen." The blast doors groaned open, revealing a chamber that defied imagination. Stretching into the darkness, banks of quantum processors hummed with dormant power. At the center of the facility, a sphere of exotic matter rotated slowly within a containment field, its surface rippling like liquid mercury. Captain Sarah Mitchell descended the metal stairway, her boots ringing against the grating. The former Space Marine had been recalled from retirement when the blockade began. 30 years, Marcus, 30 years, this has been waiting. "We hoped we'd never need it," Chen replied, his voice echoing in the vast space. "But the founders of this project understood something the galaxy doesn't. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our refusal to stay down when someone tries to keep us there." Admiral James Harrison emerged from the shadows, his weathered face grim. "The blockade is holding. We've lost contact with 17 ships. They're not just containing us, they're strangling us." Chen moved to the central console, his fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. Zeus was designed for this exact scenario. When they built this facility in 2089, they called it humanity's insurance policy. "What exactly does it do?" Sarah asked, studying the rotating sphere of exotic matter. "It weaponizes space itself," Chen explained. "The quantum field generators can manipulate the fabric of space-time within a light-year radius. We can create gravitational anomalies, disrupt faster than light travel, even bend light around our ships." Harrison nodded grimly. "The alien blockade depends on their ability to detect and intercept our vessels. If we can blind them, confuse their sensors, we can break free." As Chen initialized the startup sequence, energy coursed through conduits that ran deep into the Earth's core. The exotic matter sphere began to spin faster, its surface crackling with barely contained power. On the surface, President Alina addressed the world once more. "My fellow humans, in our darkest hour, we must remember who we are. We are the species that looked at the ocean and built ships. We gazed at the sky and learned to fly. When the galaxy tells us we cannot reach for the stars, we will prove them wrong." Unknown to the watching world, similar facilities activated on Luna, Mars, and Titan. The Zeus network had been humanity's most closely guarded secret, built in anticipation of this very scenario. The galaxy thought they understood humanity's capabilities, but they had only seen what humans chose to show them, in the depths of space. The alien blockade maintained its vigil. Commander Zephan stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominion's fist, watching the sensor displays. "Status report. All grid positions secure. Commander," his tactical officer reported. "No human vessels have attempted to breach the perimeter in the past 6 hours. Their resistance appears to be weakening." Zephan's scaled lips curved in what might have been a smile. As expected. Humans are impulsive, but not foolish. They will accept their fate. Deep within the Zeus facility, alarms began to sound. Dr. Chan's console blazed with activity as quantum field calculations reached critical mass. Power at 70% and climbing. Gravitational sensors detecting formation of localized space-time distortions. Sarah gripped the railing as the facility trembled. "Are we sure this won't tear the planet apart?" 97% sure, Chen replied with dark humor. "The other 3% is why they built 12 backup facilities." Admiral Harrison received reports from across the solar system. Mars base confirms ZEUS-2 is online. Lunar reports full synchronization. The network is active. Above them, the first signs of ZUS's awakening became visible. Aurora-like phenomena danced across Earth's magnetic field as exotic particles interacted with the planet's natural defenses. Radio communications across the globe reported strange interference patterns in the alien blockade. Sensor operators began reporting anomalies. "Commander, we're detecting massive gravitational fluctuations throughout the system. The readings don't match any known human technology." Zephyr frowned at the tactical display. "Investigate immediately. Deploy scanner drones to map these distortions." But as the alien probe craft approached the source of the anomalies, they encountered something unprecedented. Space itself seemed to rebel against their presence. Navigation systems failed as gravitational fields shifted randomly. Communications arrays sparked and died as quantum interference overwhelmed their circuits. Dr. Chen watched the alien fleet's confusion with grim satisfaction. Zeus is functioning perfectly. Their sensors can't penetrate the quantum static we're generating. To them, the entire solar system just became a black hole of information. The moment humanity had been preparing for since first contact had arrived. The galaxy had tried to cage Earth, but they had awakened something they didn't understand. Humanity's true strength wasn't in accepting limits, it was in refusing to acknowledge them. As the exotic mattersphere reached full rotation, casting strange shadows that defied physics, Dr. Chen spoke into his communicator. "Madam President, Zeus is fully operational. Phase 1 is complete." Elena's voice crackled through the quantum-encrypted channel. "Then it's time to remind the galaxy who they're dealing with. Initiate Phase 2. Zeus rises. The quantum field around Earth pulsed like a heartbeat as Zeus reached full operational capacity. In the hidden facility beneath the Arctic ice, Dr. Marcus Chen monitored readings that would have been considered impossible by galactic science just hours before. Exotic matter streams flowed through conduits carved from crystallized space-time itself, while gravitational waves rippled outward in carefully controlled patterns. "Field coherence at maximum," Chen announced, his voice tight with concentration. "The entire solar system is now within our influence sphere." Captain Sarah Mitchell studied the tactical hologram floating above the command center. Red dots marked the positions of alien blockade ships, now scattered and confused as their sensors fed them contradictory data. How long before they realize what's happening? "They already know something's wrong," Admiral Harrison replied, monitoring intercepted alien communications. "But they can't comprehend what they're seeing. Zeus is operating on principles their science considers theoretical. At best." President Elena Vasquez's voice echoed through the facility from her secure bunker in Geneva. "The world is watching, people. Riots have broken out in 12 major cities. The lunar colonies are reporting critical life support failures. We need to act now." Chen's fingers danced across the quantum interface. "Initiating space-time displacement protocol. All human vessels within the system prepare for field activation." Above Earth's atmosphere, the first miracle occurred. The crippled transport ship, Prometheus, carrying refugees from the outer colonies, suddenly vanished from alien sensors. But it hadn't been destroyed, had been wrapped in a pocket of folded space that rendered it invisible to conventional detection. Commander Zephyr paced the bridge of his flagship, his scaled hide flushed with agitation. "Report. Where did that vessel go?" His sensor operator, a multi-eyed Kethter, clicked its mandibles in confusion. Commander, it simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, the next our instruments show empty space. Impossible. No known human technology can achieve true invisibility. Perhaps, the alien tactical officer suggested, it was destroyed so completely that no debris remains. But even as they spoke, more impossible things began happening throughout the blockade fleet. Navigation systems reported contradictory positions, placing ships simultaneously in multiple locations. Communication arrays picked up transmissions from vessels that sensors insisted weren't there. Most disturbing of all, some ships found themselves unable to maintain position, as if the very space around them had become unstable. In the Zeus facility, Sarah Mitchell coordinated with resistance cells across human space. Phoenix Squadron, you are clear for departure. New Shanghai orbital platform, begin evacuation procedures. One by one, human vessels that had been trapped within the blockade began to move. But they didn't break through the alien perimeter, they simply stepped around it, using corridors of twisted space-time that Zeus carved through the quantum foam. Dr. Chen monitored the exotic matter core as it spun faster, its surface now blazing with energy that made the chamber bright as day. We're approaching critical resonance. Once we reach full synchronization with the galactic quantum field, we can extend our influence beyond the solar system. The implications were staggering. Zeus wasn't just a defensive system, it was humanity's key to the galaxy. By manipulating the fundamental structure of space itself, they could travel anywhere, undetected and unstoppable. Admiral Harrison received the first reports from human vessels beyond the blockade. Madame President, the cargo ship Defiance has successfully reached Alpha Centauri. They report no pursuit and no detection by hegemony forces. Elena's voice carried a note of fierce satisfaction. Then it's time to send our message. Dr. Chen, open a channel to the Galactic Federation Council. The quantum array reconfigured itself, tapping into the galaxy's communication network with subtle manipulations that bypassed every security protocol. Within moments, Elena's image appeared on screens across 47 worlds, interrupting regular broadcasts and emergency sessions alike. Citizens of the galaxy, she began, her voice calm but carrying an edge of steel, you have made a grave error. You believed that isolating humanity would break our spirit, force us to accept subjugation. Instead, you have given us the greatest gift possible, the absolute necessity of becoming something greater than you imagined. In the Galactic Federation Council chamber, Ambassador Crickstall watched in horror as human ships appeared on sensors throughout the galaxy. Not just a few vessels, but hundreds, emerging from quantum distortions that shouldn't exist. This is impossible, he whispered. No species has ever mastered large-scale space-time manipulation. Elena continued her broadcast, her image unwavering, despite the chaos erupting across the galaxy. For too long, humanity has played by rules written by those who fear our potential. We have accepted limitations imposed by species who mistake stagnation for stability. That ends today. Commander Zephan watched his mighty blockade fleet struggle with systems that no longer obeyed physical laws. All ships converge on Earth. We must stop whatever they're doing. But as the alien vessels moved toward the planet, they encountered something unprecedented. Space itself resisted their passage. Ships found themselves moving backward despite engines at full power. Others discovered they were traveling in circles, trapped in loops of distorted space-time. Dr. Chen smiled grimly as he monitored the alien fleet's struggles. Zeus isn't just hiding our ships, it's rewriting the rules of navigation within our sphere of influence. They can't reach us because we control the very medium they travel through. The exotic matter core reached critical resonance, its rotation generating standing waves that propagated throughout the galaxy at faster than light speeds. On every world, in every system, sensitive instruments detected the impossible signature of controlled gravitational manipulation on a cosmic scale. President Elena's broadcast reached its climax. To those who would be our allies, our markets remain open and our friendship is freely given. But to those who seek to cage humanity, know this: we are no longer bound by your limitations. We have awakened something that has slept since the universe was young, and we will use it to secure our freedom. The first human battle fleet materialized. At the edge of the Zarian system, their ships phasing in from quantum tunnels that had carried them across hundreds of light years in minutes. But these weren't the crude vessels the aliens had dismissed before. Enhanced with Zeus technology, they moved through space like sharks through water, untouchable and unstoppable. Captain Sarah Mitchell stood on the bridge of the newly commissioned Dreadnought Prometheus, watching as Zarian defense forces scrambled to respond to their impossible arrival. This is Captain Mitchell of the United Earth Defense Force. We are not here to conquer, but to demonstrate. Your people voted to imprison humanity. Today you learn the cost of underestimating us. The human fleet didn't fire a shot. They didn't need to. Their mere presence, achieved through technology that violated every principle of galactic science, sent a message more powerful than any weapon. Humanity had transcended the limitations that other species accepted as universal law. Back in the Zeus facility, Dr. Chen monitored quantum fluctuations across the galaxy as panic spread through the alien civilizations. The network is stable. We can maintain this level of reality manipulation indefinitely. Admiral Harrison coordinated with human forces across known space. All objectives achieved. Our people are free, our technology is secure, and our message has been delivered. Elena's final words echoed through the galaxy. The stars belong to those bold enough to claim them. Humanity has claimed not just our right to the stars, but our right to rewrite the very laws that govern them. We offer partnership to those wise enough to accept us as equals. To the rest, we offer this warning: ever again attempt to cage what you cannot comprehend. As the broadcast ended, the Galactic Federation faced a new reality. Humanity hadn't just broken their blockade, they had shattered the fundamental assumptions upon which galactic civilization was built. Species that had ruled for millennia now found themselves dealing with beings who could step outside the universe itself and reshape it to their will. In the depths of space, Commander Zephin watched helplessly as his blockade fleet remained trapped in loops of impossible geometry. His career, his people's dominance, everything he had known was crumbling around the simple fact that humanity refused to accept limits. The Zeus network pulsed with power, its exotic matter cores spinning in perfect synchronization across the solar system. Humanity had awakened something ancient and terrible and beautiful, the power to say no to the universe itself and make it listen. As human ships spread across the galaxy like drops of mercury through a vast web, carrying trade and technology and the irrepressible human spirit to worlds that had never imagined such possibilities, one truth became clear to all who witnessed. The stars, had not been blocked from Earth. Earth had been blocked from the stars. And now, nothing in the universe could hold humanity back.